good Tuesday morning. It's 5:30. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. And good morning to our friend Miller, our frozen friend.
I was going to say, am I really your friend all this cold weather? You're not going to blame me, are you?
No, it's not you to blame at all. It's just another typical winter in Montana.
It is something out. You know, we've been very, very lucky, and then old man winter's finally come to collect. We've had, record snow amounts Friday and Saturday in Billings, and now we're looking at the possibility of record temperatures. Not on the good side either. Let's take a look right now here in Billings. We're at -8. We've got -29, and that's an actual temperature in Cutbank. -19 in Havre. We're 21 below in Glasgow, 24 below in Jordan. There's your wind chills. Look along the high line up there. Glasgow -41, -42 in Williston. Cutbank at -53. It's just brutal out there. You can see a wind chill warning along the northern parts of Montana into North Dakota. Wind chills as low as 55 below. Other areas, including Billings and Yellowstone County, wind chills as low as 40 below. And this is going to be over the next couple of days. It's not just a one-time shot. This cold air mass is going to linger, and you can see for our day planner today, it's just another day where we're going to stay below zero. And Billings alone doesn't look like we're going to bust zero again, maybe until Sunday. So stay indoors if you can. Watch out for frostbite and hypothermia, and we'll tell you more about the forecast and when we could possibly warm up to back to seasonal. We'll let you know about that coming up here in just a bit.
That would be an amazing thing at this point.
It would be. At this point, you're right.
All right, okay. Miller, I'll get to news. Thank you. Our top story this Tuesday, the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump begins later today in the U.S. Senate. The first day of the proceedings will consist of a debate and vote as to whether the trial itself is constitutional. Trump is the first president to face charges after leaving office and the first to be impeached twice. The 45th president has said he will not testify and no witnesses are expected to be called. Instead, senators will present graphic videos recorded during the riot. Opening arguments are slated for tomorrow. Law enforcement officials are beefing up security around the Capitol in case of violence during the hearings. National Guard members are still patrolling the exterior of the Capitol complex. All 9 House Democrat impeachment managers have security details following them around. As of right now, federal law enforcement officials say they are not tracking any specific and credible threats, but will remain on high alert. The White House says President Biden plans to watch little, if any, of the impeachment trial today. Officials say he's focusing on passing his massive COVID-19 relief deal as quickly as possible. But new fractures in the Democrat Party are threatening to derail it. Some senators are holding up the bill, demanding an included increase to the federal minimum wage. President Biden says he doesn't believe that will be included in the final cut. Democrats are also working on adding a new proposal to the bill that will boost the child tax credit to at least $3,000 per child. A study from the Congressional Budget Office looked into the effects raising minimum wage would have on the country. It shows a $15 minimum wage would reduce poverty, but would also cause job losses. According to the study, the number of people in poverty would drop by 900,000 and result in lower spending on food stamps and child nutrition programs. However, the office says the move would cut employment by nearly 1.5 million workers and would increase the federal deficit by $54 billion over 10 years. The minimum wage has been $7.25 since 2009. Now closer to home, there is some good news about the virus. COVID-related hospitalizations in Yellowstone County are down to 30 from 150 during the height of the pandemic. Health officials say locals are excited about getting the vaccine and demand is extremely high. Right now, the county isn't receiving the supply to keep up, but the state is working hard to try and increase the number of shots we get here.
Hopefully we'll continue to see the improvements we've seen, and that next month when we stand here we can talk about another good month. It's up to all of us to do our part, and I'm happy to say that right now we're doing well, and hopefully we'll continue that.
The volume of requested tests has also come down. FELTON says the county's test positivity rate has been under 10% for the last 5 weeks. Our local hospitals are working together to get the vaccines in the arms of more people. 975 doses of the Pfizer vaccine will be available at a mass vaccination clinic next week. It's open to anyone who falls into the Phase 1B group. It will be held at Metro Park, and the official days and times are yet to be announced. Phase 1B consists of those 70 and older and those age 16 to 69 with high-risk medical conditions. A Billings pediatric doctor can now add a children's author to his list of accomplishments. I spoke to St. Vincent Healthcare's Dr. Andrew Lashes and others involved to find out why they decided to make what was once a simple bedtime story a reality. Days for Dr. Andrew Lashes are usually spent in the office, visiting with some of St. Vincent Healthcare's smallest patients, making sure they're heart healthy.
When kids come to this office, obviously we have a job to do, but there's absolutely no reason why it can't be a really positive or even fun environment.
But he wanted to send them off with something more than the traditional doctor's office departing gift.
What else do you want?
With some time to reminisce during the shutdown, a little story he made up for his kids when they were little 20 plus years ago came to mind.
The boy who went to bed late. There once was a boy who went to bed late. He thought staying up was really quite great. He was going through a patch where he wouldn't sleep and was just kind of a miserable little miniature human being in the daytime, and that was the impetus, to write that little story. He slept very little and got out of bed, stepped on a toy, and fell on his head.
Reading was a family favorite, and he'd make up stories and rhymes from time to time.
Wandering about and still half asleep, he looked at his dogs and thought they were sheep. I think this was one, that I kind of made up in that regard, and I think my wife saw it and just said, maybe we should keep that one. That one's kind of, far better than the rest of the stuff you've done. He put tea in his cereal instead of white milk, and after the first bite, became quite ill.
The idea of publishing his story quickly caught on, gaining support from the St. Vincent Healthcare Foundation.
If you look at our bio on Dr. Lashes, I think his comment is he treats healthcare by treating every child as if they're his own. And in this particular case, he and I had a visit early on where we talked about what better way for him to treat every pediatric patient as his own than to write a book for them.
While putting on his clothes, he put a sock on his nose, he put his feet in his shirt, his arms in his pants, and he proceeded to do a funny little dance.
And the community momentum didn't stop there.
We were able to get the work done with Heinz Creative right here in Billings, and then our friends at Ultra Graphics were able to put the book together and produce it. So, for it to be a community-wide event where we can really talk about how our community helped us, we were pretty excited.
He put toothpaste on his hairbrush and combed his teeth. He filled his lunchbox with shoes and went to school with bare feet.
I just got a phone call out of the blue from Dr. Lashes. I had never met him before. And so he just called and asked if I'd be interested in helping illustrate and design his book that he wrote years ago. And it just so happened that with the COVID situation and the business kind of decline that we had at the time, and it was a good project to get involved with.
He was so very tired throughout the school day, he could not do his work or manage to play. When the bell rang and school was out, he knew just what to do without any doubt. The words are only a part of the book. And I think Joe and Jim Hines did a fantastic job of, creating illustrations that, are the words and bring the story to life.
A life that will live on in the hands of kids as they read the words of a doctor who's not afraid to show a little heart.
He crawled straight home, went right to bed, and restful dreams soon filled his head. Good night.
And you might have noticed there's a girl edition of the book too. If you're interested in grabbing your own copy of the book, they can be picked up at the St. Vincent Healthcare Foundation office at 1106 North 30th Street. And before we take a break, there's a brand new option for anyone hoping to get out of town. Allegiant Airlines will soon offer non-stop flights from Billings to Portland 2 days a week. The flights begin May 7th and ticket prices start at just $59. Allegiant officials say they're excited to connect these two cities.